Recently, Karnataka has introduced the Draft Karnataka Gig Workers, Conditions of Service and Welfare Bill 2024, the second state on the path of enacting legislation specifically for welfare of gig economy workers, following Rajasthan. Gig economy. Gig economy is a labor market which is dependent heavily on temporary and part-time positions. These positions are occupied by independent contractors and freelancers rather than full-time permanent workers, employees. Gig workers. Gig workers refer to workers who are outside the traditional employer-employee relationship. According to the Code on Social Security, 2020, India, a gig worker is a person who performs work or participates in work arrangements and earns from such activities outside of the traditional employer-employee relationship. They can be independent contractors, online platform workers, contract firm workers, on-call workers, and temporary workers. Startups like Ola, Uber, Zomato, and Swiggy have established themselves as the main source of the gig economy in India. Gig workers are divided into two groups. Those gig workers who use online platforms or apps to connect with customers, they are called platform workers. Zomato delivery boys, Uber drivers, etc. Non-platform workers. Those who work outside of these platforms are non-platform workers, such as construction workers or other temporary workers. As per an estimate by 𝐼 𝐸𝐺𝐿, approx. 23 million workers are expected to be engaged in the gig economy. By 2029, the current number is 7.5 million. A research by Boston Consulting Group stipulates that gig economy participation is higher in developing nations, 5 to 12%, as compared to the developed nations, 1 to 4%. Most of these gig works are lower income job types such as deliveries, ride-sharing, microtasks, care, and wellness. Challenges faced by gig workers are significant due to nature of their jobs. Jobs often lack labor rights such as minimum wages, overtime pay, and medical leave. Employer-employee disputes resolution is not statutorily mandated. Employees as well as independent contractors exclude these workers from statutory benefits under various laws such as Minimum Wages Act, EPF Act, Payment of Bonus Act for employees, and the Contract Labour Act for contract labourers. Gig workers are also excluded from category of unorganized workers or wage workers. Gig workers do not have right for collective bargaining. Altogether, gig workers' fundamental rights under Articles 14 and 21 are violated. Mean age income of gig workers in India. The median age of gig workers in India is 27. Average monthly income of gig workers in India is 18,000 rupees. About 71% of the gig workers in India are sole breadwinners of their families. Also, a gig worker's average household size in India is 4.4. Key features of Karnataka Gig Workers Bill. Income security for gig workers. Guarantee of occupational safety. Penalizing aggregators for violations. Establishing Gig Workers Welfare Board Central Transaction Monitoring System. Aggregators will be charged gig workers' welfare fees. Compulsory fair terms of contract between aggregators and gig workers. Strict norms for termination of work and ensuring income security. Mandatory registration of gig workers with the Welfare Board. Grievance redressal system. Mandating aggregators to provide details of all registered gig workers to the board. Statutory framework. The statutory framework for the gig economy in India includes Code on Social Security 2020. It aims to provide government benefits to gig workers, but it has not been implemented at present. Occupational Safety, Health and Working Conditions Code 2020. It extends various social security benefits to gig workers such as life and disability coverage, health and maternity benefits, and old age protection.